Okay guys, so now where we're going to start is a new concept in De La Riva. And what is this concept? This concept is arms being posted on the mat. Now, I've spent hours explaining to you about posting arms and how the mechanisms of their arm post is significant in our avenues of attack, right? They post their arm, the weight on the elbow open, closing the elbow, weight on the palm, shoulder back, right? But what I didn't talk about is every time the arm is posted on the floor, a submission is exposed. So, in Jiu-Jitsu, go close guard me. We learn when you're playing close guard on someone in kids class. I said this in a previous lesson. If your hand's on the mat, your hand's on fire, or your hands are on lava, right? They say some sort of thing like this. Why is that? Because when my hand's on the floor, she could attack a Kimura, right? She could attack an overhook. She could attack an underhook on my arm. She has so many ways to attack my arm here. Why is that? Because my weight's on my arms. I always need to have my elbows closed and my body like this when I'm passing. If my arms are on the floor, all my weight's on them, a submission is exposed, right? So I'm thinking the same thing in De La Riva. And why am I thinking this? Because when I'm playing De La Riva, a way people will defend a sweep is posting their arms. We learn this over and over, right? I'm not being repetitive. Every time they post their arms, a sweep, they defend a sweep. Because when they post, they could try to keep their butt off the floor. Okay? So when I'm sweeping someone, a very common defense for De La Riva when I sweep someone is they post to keep their butt from going to the floor, but they don't fall all the way down. They stay up. For them to stay up, what do they have to do essentially? They have to put more weight on their arm. What does that mean? That means a submission is exposed. What submission? Many submissions are exposed. My favorite being the armbar. This is one of my favorite positions. I really just always did this position. It was one of my best moves, like always in training and always, even competing. I did this very well in one match. I just made one error with the armbar once I was already in the armbar. So I didn't get to finish the submission, but I got a really tight spot there. It's one of my favorite spots. So I'm so excited for you guys to see this variation, the De La Riva. It's going to make the person on top feel so uncomfortable because they won't be able to just post on you when you almost sweep them. If they post, they're going to get submitted. Okay, so let's begin. Go De La Riva on me. So as we learn, the base on top, when the person's holding the collar and like here, the con of this is she can put her De La Riva in. And every time she tilts me, many people when they're here, they post their arm right in front of the head. Look. Why do they do this? Because they want to regroup their base, putting their weight back on their body and come up. So every time she tilts me, people do this. Tilt me. Go. Go. Keep doing it. This is so common in Jiu-Jitsu. Everyone does this. Okay? When that arm touches the floor, it's on fire. There's lava. Okay? And I'm going to expose it just like if you were in close guard. How? I'm going to transfer the weight of the person's body, like we learned before, in the overhead. Come to the overhead on me. I'm going to keep putting all these concepts together so you see how they're all the same. Arms on my legs, or any, yeah, that's fine. Every time she's putting weight on her arms, look what I do. I bring her forward, and I put all her weight on her arms first, right? Once her weight's on her arms, I could flip her. So, when I do this, notice I transferred all her weight to her arms. I'm doing the same thing when her arm touches the mat. When her arm's on the mat, I'm going to put all her weight to that arm. Because when you put enough weight on that arm, the strength in the arm is going to be compromised. And what does that mean when the strength of the arm is compromised? The elbow is exposed. So that's what I'm doing when I do this. When they post their arm, I'm going to put their weight all on that arm. Bending their elbow like we learned. Shoulder forward, bending the elbow. Once we can do that, we can submit them. Okay? So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be De La Riva. I'm going to be over here. She's going to be holding my collar and leg. I'm going to be here. She has the straight arm. What did we learn in the first part of the De La Riva system? I removed the straight arm from my body. Keep the grip, please. Now I tilt her to the side. Her arm posts on the mat. Look. Her hand is on fire. How am I going to expose this? There's many ways to expose this. The first one I'm going to show you is the arm bar. I'm going to show you many attacks after them. What am I going to do? I'm going to control her elbow. I'm going to remove her arm, putting it on top of my shoulder like this. I'm going to start raising her arm like so. I'm going to keep my foot on her hip. I'm going to use my arm on my leg like this. Look. Now what am I going to do here? I'm going to move my body back, and I'm going to bring her head down. Why is that? Because once her head is down, all the weight is on her shoulder and arm here. Keeping this collar grip. I'm going to move my hip down. I'm going to move my hip down. Look how much exposed her arm is now. Once I get here, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring my leg over, hooking her leg like so. I'm going to let go of the grip, and now I'm going to end up with her body stuck. So I make a De La Riva on her leg here. Now what I'm going to give a pressure to finish the arm bar. Okay, so again, a lot of details here that I have to discuss. First being her arm touching the floor, how I catch the arm. Why is it safe to do? Because I'm keeping my frames the whole time. If I let go of my frames and do this, I can get clubbed, you see? So, I'm going to make her pose. Look, if I let go of all my frames, go to my head and pass my guard. Yes. Sorry. No, you're fine. You see what happened? Why did she do that? Because my De La Riva hook went off of her hip. I'm using my foot on her hip to keep my frame on her body. As long as I have my frames, she cannot go to my head. So that's what I'm paying attention to when I do this position. So when I'm here, and I move her, I make her pose. Look at my inside foot. Stand up, please. Just stand up so they can see. Look at the inside foot. Look how it's right on her stomach, like so. This is what's keeping her from coming into me. Now, I make her pose. Look what I'm going to do with this arm. I raise the lower part of her arm with my shoulder. Why do I do this? Because I want all the weight to go to this part of her elbow. Opening her elbow, look. Like this. Okay, so come back. Let's back up a little bit. So I'm here. She's holding my collar. I move it off. I tilt her. Her hand pose. I lift her hand off the floor. Look. As I lift her hand off the floor, I'm punching her neck this way to make her look the other way. So what is the rule of the collar? The rules of the collar are, go on your knees please. Rules of the collar. I can make all her weight onto the butt, the anchor collar grip, right? All her weight onto the butt. I can pull forward, right? I can just simply pull her forward. I can frame the shoulder, come into me. I could change the angle of her neck. I could also pull just her shoulders forward. Those are all the ways I can use the collar. When I'm here, what am I doing? I pull down the arm and then I make her look this way. Why? Because if all her body weight is on this side of her body, this side of her arm is super weak. Remember what I said. Think about jiu-jitsu like this. The weight of her arm, again, fake figures. The weight of her arm, 30% of her body is on this arm. Now, 10% of the weight of her body is on this arm. Is it easier for me to attack this arm if there's less weight on it? 100%. That is why I'm doing that. The strength of her arm is weak. So first I put all the weight on this arm, right? Then I take all the weight off of this arm. And then once I take all the weight off of this arm, my body's in the perfect position to arm bar her. That is exactly what's happening when I'm doing this position. Okay, so stand up please. So when I'm here, I'm in De La Riva. She has the arm on my chest. I move it back, I tilt her. She posts her hand. Look, all I'm doing here is keeping my foot on the stomach, and look what I'm doing with my knee. Just move your arm away, please. This knee. I'm keeping it in front of my body. If I lost the connection, even if I'm here, take your knee out, like drop your knee to the floor. No. Drop your knee to the floor, like this. Yes, but like, so put your foot on my hip. So get the De La Riva and put your foot on my hip, like this. This foot. Oh. Look what I do with my knee. You see? So come back. So I'm here. I take it off, I tilt her. Look at my knee. Why is my knee like this? Because my knee is blocking that from happening. If my knee's here, she could take her knee out and drop it. You see? That is what the person will try to do if you don't keep your knee blocking that forward knee. See, that's so important how I'm using my knee, guys. So I'm here, I tilt her, I drop her, I use my knee to keep her knee inside. I put all her weight here. I control this grip here. Now I move my hand in front of my knee like so. You see? Because I want to put more weight on her body like this. Now I have her like a table on her body. I push her head this way and I back up. I back up. Look where I end up now. Now I end up in the armbar where I can apply pressure. I can hook the leg like this. I can put pressure here. I like to hook like a De La Riva here. Now I can put pressure on her arm. Wrist control is so important here so she can't move her wrist. So she's really stuck now when I go for the armbar. So again, in here. And this catches so many people off guard, guys. You'd be surprised like how often I could catch people off guard with this move. Because everyone posted a hand there. That's like it's a rule. It's a rule that is broken all the time by posting your hand on the floor. Everyone posts their hands, but if there's so many frames, there's a submission exposed because then it's the same thing as close guard, right? So I'm here. I move her. I make her post. I go here. Look. I bring my elbow in front of my knee, like so. I bring my forearm in front of my leg. I bring my knee up. Now look at her head. Hold my ankle, please. Like strong. So look, when she's holding my ankle, what are we doing? We're doing the rules that we learned previously. Come back to De La Riva. When she's holding my ankle here. This, right? Or the elbow's in. This. If she's just holding normal. This. I'm just circling my foot, okay? It's no-gi grip. That triggers all the things we learned in the first part of the De La Riva system. So I tilt her, I make her fall, I get the grip. I put my arm in front of my elbow like this. I step on the floor because her elbow's in. Once I do this, look, I bring my leg up. Are you able to keep the grip when I do this?
No.
She's collapsing too much, you see?
If I kept the grip, I'd fall.
You see, once you get here, I'm putting pressure on her shoulder, I move my body, putting her head more to the floor. Isolating this arm even more. Once I isolate this arm, look at my shoulder. This is a very important detail. My forearm shoulder, this part of my arm. Look how I raise her hand up because I'm putting more pressure onto this part of her arm. Now I can throw my leg over like this. I can hook like a De La Riva or I can just hammer my leg down. It doesn't matter. Once I get control of the wrist, look how I'm able to completely control her arm. You see? And when I finish here, I don't just go in a straight line. Because that would be pressure on the bicep. I want to put some pressure on the shoulder. So I put pressure on my leg down, and I'm going to lift her arm up this way, and then to the side. See? It just adds a little extra pressure on other parts of her arm. So you won't just get a break in the bicep. You'll get more tears in other parts of the arm. Okay? So, I'm here.
It sounds terrible.
I'm here. She's holding the arm. She's here. I stretch. I make her post. I have the pressure on my De La Riva. I put my arm in front of my knee like so. I step on the floor. You see, if her head is so low, she's gonna lose her strength in her grip anyway. So let's change angles. Let's go the other way. So I'm here. I have De La Riva. I make her post. I get the grip. She's here. If her head is so low, the grip is going to fall off automatically. If her head is above the grip, right? I could use my knee here, bring my foot out. Now my foot is circled already. You see how I circle my foot? Now all her weight's on her arm. You see? So let's do the pummel again. We're holding my leg, bring your head up a little bit. Yeah. I step, I get my foot out, I circled. Now I get above your head. If you're already here and I get your head low, it doesn't matter your ankle grip. You see? Now I move her down, I get her here. I lift up the arm, I throw my leg in. Once I throw my leg in, look at the pressure I have on her arm now. Now I put pressure on my butt on her shoulder down. I lift the wrist up and I stretch to put pressure on her arm. Do you feel it just on your bicep or do you feel it on other parts of your arm too?
This whole area.
And a little on your shoulder too, right? When I raise it up.
Like
yes.
the ripping thing kind of.
Some of my opponents don't tap, so I have to like overthink how I could tear other parts of the arm that the arm will be hanging. So they won't be able to continue fighting, you know what I mean? So if the arm just breaks, they could, like the bicep tear, they can kind of keep fighting. But if like shoulder and like that parts, like they can't really keep fighting, right? So
please don't test it on me.
I'm here. I make her fall. I get here. Look, I take her arm off the floor now. Now I'm putting all the post weight of her arm on here. I move the arm down here. I step on the floor. I move the body down. I bring the head down. Look, I'm putting pressure on her shoulder now. Now look at this when I go to the armbar. Look. Look how strong this armbar is. You see, I'm not even putting pressure on her right now, but I just put my butt down. I put straight and then I lift up the arm. You see, it's such a powerful move, guys. So let's go back to this.
It really is. I mean, I feel the pressure on the arm, and then once you start.
There's too many frames for you to deal with, and your arm is just out there. You know, it's literally the basic concept of jiu-jitsu from close guard. Again, proving all concepts work in every part of jiu-jitsu, you know. So we're here doing Dalahiba. I move her back, I make her fall, I go here. 2 ways to clear this. One, I get my, keep the grip please strong. One, I get my knee above her head and I stretch my leg. Her grip peels, right? The other, her head comes up. I just do this, I bring my foot in. Now I do the same thing. Now keep the grip. She can't. I keep the frame of my knee on her chest. I move my body, Now I put my hook in. Once I put the hook in, look at the armbar. Look at the strength here, you see? It's kind of hard for you to roll too, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's impossible.
Because her shoulder is so isolated, she can't even roll there. So come back up.
To the ripping thing, I'm a little afraid.
So I'm here, she's holding, I straighten it, I make her post. I lift up. Once I lift up, I bring her hand off the floor. This is what I'm focused on, look. I step on the floor, I move my hand out. Now I put pressure on her shoulder, down. Now I throw my leg over, you see? You see, I can put my leg in here too. This is totally fine. I prefer the other one because this one she could possibly roll. You see? Which is fine. I like always putting my hook on that leg because I want to keep that leg stuck. I feel like that leg is stuck. I can hip escape myself more to keep her body stuck. Okay, so when I'm here and I make her fall, and I go here, I prefer to go on this leg instead of going inside. And once I get here, look at the pressure on her body. Now this is so strong, you see? So this is the first example of me utilizing a post when she posts on the floor, attacking a submission, you see? The next submission I can attack. Stand up, please. I'm going to now attack an omoplata. What is an omoplata? An omoplata, coming closer. An omoplata is every time we're able to open the elbow like this, right? The elbow, I can't attack an omoplata if the arm is straight, right? The arm is straight, I can attack an armbar, right? Or something like this, like an arm lock, something like this. When the arm bends, the elbow bends, I'm able to attack an omoplata, right? So what does this have to do with anything? Posting. Remember what we just learned about posting. Whenever the elbow bends, whenever we bring the shoulder forward, the elbow shall bend. If we can open the elbow, their base is all gone. So stand up now. So when I'm in Dalahiba here, I pull her back, I make her post. Look at her arm. Look what I can also do besides going with the underhook. I could go on an overhook here. And if I go on an overhook, post your hand, I'm going to use my elbow on her hand. I'm going to do this with her elbow. What am I doing? I'm going to move her hand down. And when I do this, I'm going to pull her elbow forward, pulling her shoulder to me. Now look what I can do. I can attack an omoplata. So put your hand on the floor quickly. Why are you using? I'm doing this. I'm using my elbow on her hand. I'm moving her hand back. Why? When I move her hand back, what is happening to her shoulder? Look. Look how my shoulder is coming forward. What is that? Our rules of posting again. Because they're all the same. Look, every time I do this, look at my shoulder, how it comes forward. What does that mean when my shoulder comes forward? What happened to the weight in my hand? The weight in my hand moved off of my hand now. Now it's more in my elbow. What does that mean for us? That means if the weight on my hand moves to my elbow, I can open the elbow. AKA, what did we just learn about the omoplata? If we can open the elbow, we can attack an omoplata. Okay, so when you stand up, I'm here, I stretch her, I make her post. Now I'm opening her elbow more. I'm opening her elbow more, look. Now look at this. I can attack an omoplata. I can lock a triangle on her shoulder like so. You see? Now I can frame the leg and I can go here. Always when you're omoplata, guys, you want to keep a frame on this side of her body. If I let her step over my body, this is problematic for me because she could possibly pass my guard. Now take your other leg out. Oh. And now she could possibly pass my guard, right? Sorry. You see, so that is why I need to keep a frame on that leg when I get to the omoplata. Just so you guys know, just basic jiu-jitsu fundamentals, you always want to frame that side of her body. Okay, so again, I'm here. Straight hand, make her post. Doesn't matter how. Now I use my elbow on her hand, bringing her hand back, bringing her shoulder forward. And again, if I didn't have my foot on her stomach, I would be in a very dangerous spot here. But because my foot is on that stomach, and because my knee is protecting me, I have a lot of safe frames to do this. So I'm safe. There's no problem with me doing this. That is why I'm able to do this move, okay? So when we're here, I tilt her, I make her fall. And I go here, look. Look at my knee. Look how this knee is protecting me. So my foot on my stomach, stand up. The foot on my stomach, the foot on her stomach, and now lean. Now lean, please. Again,
sorry.
Look, fall, yeah. The foot on the stomach and my knee are helping me here. I'm opening her elbow like so. You see? If I want, I could underhook again and go back to the armbar. Because why? They work together. That's why I just showed them together. They're both identical, like in the spots, right? You see how I can use both of them at the same time? Because my framing in both of them is the same. That is why I'm able to do both of them the same, you see? One I'm overhooking, one I'm underhooking, you see? And then you're playing close guard, coming close guard. A lot of times when you go underhook the arm, you can attack an arm lock, right? Or I can overhook, and I can attack an omoplata, you see? I'm playing close guard right now. It's identical to close guard. The only difference is I have to master using my frames on her body in order to do this. Because if I don't, I'm in a dangerous spot. Just like close guard. If I'm here, and I go for an omoplata, but I let go of my frames past my guard. Go to past my guard, yep. You see how she just passed my guard? I lost my frame on her leg with this leg, and she passed my guard. That's actually a very common pass, by the way, in close guard that people do. So stand up again, please. The most important thing for both of these submissions is my frame. That's all I care about when I'm here. My frames, and then once I'm there, I have my fort. I get to the grip, I can add in the attack of the omoplata, armbar, whichever you prefer. So we're here. I move her body, I make this arm post. I get to this grip here. One. I move, I make her post. I use my elbow now, here. Once I get here, if I can, I bring my knee here, look. I can go like this. Omoplata. Could you put weight on me right now?
Like this?
Like, now put weight on me. Look how look at all my frames right now. My foot on the stomach, my knee is protecting me. So one, my foot is on her stomach. This knee is on her head. How can she pass my guard right now? And my fist is on her shoulder. That's 4 frames. If you want to count this, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might be the most frames in a guard, like in jiu-jitsu. Like, what other frame? How could you have more than 5 frames? Yeah, I think there's no way to have more than 5 frames on your body, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see how many frames I have? Now look, I can attack an omoplata. Let's change sides. That's why it's such a safe spot also if you understand these frames. So here, we're here. I move her body off of me and make her post. I put my forearm on her elbow like this, bringing it forward. I use my knee forward. Now I take my knee and push it on her head. So I have 5 frames. 1, I'll actually even have my elbow in this spot. So 1, my elbow. 2, pushing her elbow. 3, my knee. 4, my other knee. 5, my toe. 6, I can even use my toe like this. So maybe I can get 6 frames here. Again, I'm here. Here, and make your post. I use my forearm, my head here. I put the omoplata. Pushing the sides. I'm here. She's here, I straighten and make her post. I go to the forearm, I go here. I do the omoplata. So, I hope you're starting to see that when we're doing this spot, how I'm able to connect and add these submissions in. It's so important to understand the post. So you're seeing that come back up. When I make her post here, when I bring her hand up to me here, it's like a straight arm lock, right? But when I bring her arm down, it's an omoplata because her shoulder's forward in one, and the other, her hand is forward.
In this one, did you go to this position, the omoplata one? Am I? Oh, I can't. Okay. Sorry, I was just saying.
Look, so the elbow grip I have here is like this. Go double pull me. It's like this. You see, because could you move their foot out right now?
No.
So now come on the elbow with me. That's a really good question.
That's interesting.
It's the same again, the same concept. So here, look, now take out your arm. You see, I'm raising her arm on my elbow. Yeah, if she goes all the way down there, look. She's literally giving me the omoplata if she moves her arm all the way down. You see how again, every concept overlaps. That is why I keep repeating myself, and I feel like I'm repeating myself 1,000 times, but I keep having to point out to you how every concept just overlaps in every spot we do. Close guard, De La Riva, they're all the same. Jiu-Jitsu is all the same in this broad sense of concepts. So we're here. One move when we're here, they pose. We move the arm up. Now I go to the armbar. The other move, she poses. I move the arm down. Her shoulder is forward now. Now look, omoplata. So we're just adding in these concepts to build on these spots. And I hope you're familiar with in close guard doing this, right? So if our arm's posted here, going into a straight arm lock here, like here. If the arm's posted here, pushing the arm down, going into an omoplata or any type of omoplata here, you see? That knowledge will help you significantly here because it's conceptual. Basic close guard knowledge will help you with this position, okay? But what you're gonna have to learn, and won't be natural at first, is keeping my frames on her body. So stand up. I have to overemphasize the frames of my feet and my knee in front of her. Again, when we're here. So she's here, I push, I make her post. My foot's on the stomach and my knee is up like this. So let's see if they can see this. See how my toe is? See how my toe is right here? My toe right here. This is what's protecting me, this toe right in front of her. And then my knee right in front of her right here. This is what's protecting me, this knee and this foot. That is why I am safe here. And then when she's posting, now I have my choices because I have this table protecting me. With my forearm protecting me like this. To either go here or to go here. You see, it's so safe now for me to go to these spots like this. Either like this or like this. But all of them are basically the same, you see. So, this is how you're going to drill it. You're going to practice on top, the base. It's just essentially posting your hand. Like, I don't know, like, any way that you could get this wrong when you're reacting with the drilling partner. But,
Was that a dig at me?
no, it wasn't. Like, made me fall. Post. So your weight just goes to this hand. I'm holding this leg, and now I come back. You see? That's the only thing the person on top has to do. But I want you to drill in the setups that you just learned from the double grips here and the collar grip in the first part of the De La Riva system. That's how you'll be able to do this, and that will teach you to even off-balance someone better. So how I drill is I always drill a move, but I always add it in with other things. That way that you're always drilling that move and you're drilling the new things. I don't want you to just drill this armbar. I want you to drill the De La Riva sweep and then doing the armbar. You see? So emphasizing both when you're drilling is so important. We're not just drilling one thing, you know. I'm always doing it when I drill. I'll do a drill and I'll do like a guard retention. I'll get to guard and then I'll do a position. I won't just do a position, you know. Like, please don't just start with the armbar or the omoplata. Please don't. Practice getting there. Practice the side sweep. And both people discussing the pressure. And tell your partner, drive into me, put their weight forward, try to smash me, try to grab my head. See if they can. If they can, one of your frames is off. That means that you have to address your legs. That means you have to fix your body positioning. Once you fix it, you'll be able to do this perfect. But again, your emphasis here is going to be on that frame that you're going to create when you're in this spot, okay? So I need you guys to focus on creating that frame when you're here, using your elbow and your knee on the body. And you're going to start loving off-balance sweeping people because everyone posts in front of you. The top black belts all post in that spot, okay? So this is a spot that you could expose a lot of people. And it's really awesome, you know, I've been using this for so many years, this position. And I'm finally really happy I was able to show you it, okay? So practice the omoplata, moving the elbow away, and practice the armbar, pulling the arm to you, okay? And if you have any problems, we'll just keep working, right? Just keep drilling, keep fixing the frames, and we'll work, okay? Let's keep going. Okay guys, one more submission variation I want to show you guys now is the Kimura. Now, I do this more when my opponent's butt is already on the floor, because once their butt's on the floor, it's kind of like the opposite of what we were doing before. Before, we want it all the way on the arm, so then the legs are light and we can put pressure. When their butt's on the floor, all their weight's on their legs, the arm is very light, you see? So it's kind of the opposite, but it could be very, very strong, the Kimura from here, you know? I started doing a lot of Kimuras for my sister because she like won every Worlds, finishing her final with the Kimuras. So she's very good at Kimuras. So I learned my details from the Kimuras from her. So I'm going to show you like some cool positions from the Kimura that I can hit from the De La Riva. Okay, so stand up please. So when do I do the Kimura? I'll do the Kimura when I'm playing De La Riva and when I get her butt to the floor. So any sweep you guys want to drill right now. De La Riva, the setup, like going over the head, anything I want. I'm here. I bring her foot up. She got Toriano grips. We're still in World 1, right? Shoulders forward. Toriano grips are collar and leg, okay? So we're here. She has the post on my arm. We go here. I move the post off my body. I move her down. I make her fall here, right? So now I'm here, guys, and notice how this wrist is close to me, right? And she's putting weight on her butt. She can even be grabbing here, anything here. I just noticed that this hand is around me, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to let go of the ankle now, and I'm just going to keep my frame of my foot on her body. I'm going to grab the wrist like so. After grabbing the wrist, notice my frame still. My foot's on her hip. My collar grip is right on her neck, the collarbone as the frame, right? And I can push away, pull, you know, all the ways that we can use the collar grip now. I'm holding the wrist, and notice when I hold the wrist, how I'm trying to bring her shoulder forward and her wrist back. Always when you do it Kimura. Why? Because we learned in posting. If the shoulder's away, the post will be strong. How can I bend her arm? Her shoulder's forward, her hand is closer to her butt. You see, now the elbow is bent. So we're able to shut off the strength in her palm, making all the way on her elbow. What are we going to do now? What we're going to do is we're going to keep this back leg strong. And I can throw my leg over, or I can leave it here. For now, I'm just going to leave it here. Okay? And I'm going to bring my hip up like this, just to make an extra frame with my knee. So I have 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames, 4 frames, 5 frames. Wait, 1.
You also have one kind of with my knee too, keeping my knee down.
Yeah,
Honestly.
this knee.
Yeah,
I know.
this one too.
Oh, no, like this? You're saying like here and here.
Yeah.
So it's almost 6 frames, you see, so there's so many. Okay, so once I'm here, I pull. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to grab her tricep like so. I'm not going to immediately go like this. I like to pull the tricep a little bit. Why? Because it makes the angle of the elbow a little more bent. So now it's a little easier for me, once I have these grips like this, to feed my grip to the Kimura grip, okay? Notice I'm on my shoulder because I can move my body around her. And now I can bring my leg over her body like so. Now I put her in a very compromised spot because the only way she could technically defend this would be stuffing my back leg into half guard and trying to come up, right? So we just have to avoid half guard and we should be in a very good spot. So all I do is I keep my hip up, I get over her hip. So bring your knee back over here. I just get my knee over her hip like so. Now look where I am. I have so many ways to finish this now, guys. I can throw my leg over. I can go into an arm bar. I can stretch my body, sweep her, go to mount. I can stay here. I can pull her body up this way, be careful, to close guard, and go here. The only thing I gotta do when I do a Kimura is I gotta angle her body this direction, because the more weight on this shoulder, the weaker this shoulder will be for the Kimura, right? And now I go higher on the elbow to bend the elbow, and now I can angle and finish the Kimura. Okay, so stand up again. So you see the Kimura, just all submissions work with the posting things that I explained for sweeping. You see how they all work together with the posting? So not only do the concepts of the post help us with sweeps, they help us with submissions also. So I'm here, I'm in De La Riva. Here, here. She's holding the collar. I push her away. I sweep her down. I get here. I start pulling her shoulder to me. I'm trying to sweep her like normal, like this, right? But I see this hand is near me. So I see her weight's on her butt, but she has some weight on this hand. So I pull the shoulder forward. I push the wrist away, like so. So now she might start squaring up with me. You see? Now I go like this. Tricep and arm. So try to move now. Now look at the grip I have on her. You see, I can even hook her back like this. You see, I have this control of her arm. Try to move your arm out. Now I'm gonna go on your shoulder. Try to move your arm out.
Okay.
Like try to move your like scramble. You see how she can move. Now try to move. You see this 2 grips on her arm is what makes this control so strong because I'm completely controlling how her arm could move. So I keep the Kimura grip. I prefer to use my thumb on the wrist. This is fine too. It just depends how strong your hand is, right? I like using my thumb just because I have small hands and I feel like the thumb gives me a little more control on the wrist. You see, and I'm opening the wrist like this, you see. Because she's strong when she could close her elbow and be here, right? See if she's able to tuck in her elbow like this. If I get her hand like this, tuck in your elbow, she can't. So the angle of the hand is very important when I'm here. I keep so put your hand back on the floor. Yeah. So I open here. I start putting pressure here. You see, I start turning. Yeah, like this. Perfect. Now look at this. Try to move your arm. Try to pull out, posture. See, this kills the posture also because I have this tricep grip. You see, this is strong, right, when I have the tricep grip? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the Kimura grip. When I lock the Kimura grip, I'm going to pull the arm to me, the hand back, and now I'm going to feed. You see, there's no space when I do this for her to move her arm. So I go like this. Here, I pull it to me, I bring my head to my hand. Now look, I bring my forearm on the arm. The whole time, keeping the pressure on this tricep this way, right? If I just go like this, back your arm up, like close your arm, yeah, like this. But if I'm like this, and I go like this, close your arm, close your arm, close your arm. You see there's no space for you to bring your arm back. So a lot of people, when they go for Kimuras, they just reach for it, and then you close your elbow. A lot of people, when they go for Kimuras, they just reach for it, close your elbow. Look, I lost it. But if you go like this, and now try to close your elbow. And now look, I'm keeping your elbow open. I move my forearm. Now keep your elbow open. Keep your elbow open. Keep your elbow open. You see how I'm able, there's no space for you to close now, right? But a common mistake you'll see in Jiu-Jitsu, people just do this. Boom. And now close your elbow. You see, I can't fight this. But if I go like this, now try to close your elbow. Now look, try to close your elbow. Try to close your elbow. I keep the same pressure on her elbow open the whole time. That is so important when you do Kimura, guys. So we're here, try to close. Try to close. I lock the Kimura. Once I lock the Kimura, you see I'm on my elbow, I'm going to go on my shoulder and fall back. Here. You see, I felt very soft because the Kimura is very dangerous on your partner, okay? So I use my elbow on her hip. I use her elbow on her hip. I bring my leg above her body like so. Now, her only option to defend this would be to either just fall back or get the half guard on my leg. Try to get half guard on my leg. Very hard, right?
Yeah, because I feel like this is stuck here.
Because I'm using my shin in front of her whole body, you see. Because my shin's in front of her whole body, it's very difficult for her to get my leg into half guard. And her knees are off of her chest because we have this, just like all the mount things we did before, okay? So because I'm here, my shin is here, I have the Kimura grip, she can't put my leg in half guard, and now look what I can do. I can bring her body down. Once I bring her body down, look where I am. I have the Kimura here. Or, I'm here, I can bring my leg up, and now I can bring her body toward me like this. Here. Once I do this, all her weight on her head. If I feel this arm start straightening, I just go on the elbow to bend. So I bring my arm up. So the Kimura is here, I bring my arm up higher. If I try to go here, I can't, right? I learned this detail also from my sister. Here, I go on the elbow like this. Now I can bend the arm. You see? Once I here and I go like this, I can bend the arm. Now I can move my body, You see, now there's it's so strong to finish the Kimura. Okay, again. Stand up, please. You see how many small details there are in submissions also, though? Like basic submissions. Like, oh, a Kimura, like, it's 1,000 details in it. You know, that's what's so cool about Jiu-Jitsu. It's a basic move, yet it's so complex, right? It's just all the rules of posting you're using in a Kimura, though. We're here. I move her, I make her fall. I go here. I get the wrist. I go here. I move my body. I keep my frames. Try to move. Here. I connect. I bring my hip up. I can bring her body in a close guard here. 1. I can go to mount here. 2. I can throw my leg over her head here. I can go to the Tarika Plata here. I can keep pressure here, hooking her back arm like this. Now try to roll. It's very hard to roll, right?
Yeah, I can't roll it.
You see, I could even, there's so many options here, guys. It's like you have so many options to play with when you're in this spot. So let's go again. Here. Be careful. See, if I could get my knee ready to her shoulder like this would be ideal because now there's no way she could come into me, right? This is really strong.
This is very strong. Right?
Yep. And look, we could already finish here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, that was really good.
Look.
Like,
I could just bring my knee to her shoulder and start finishing with the Kimura pressure here. Or I could throw my leg over and put pressure here. You see, there's so many different options I have here. You know. So I just want you to practice getting this grip and doing this concept I just showed you. Here. 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 Now once I get this, look, if I can bring my knee under her armpit, look how strong I'm going to be here.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Like, could you go back a little bit to when you're here? This leg is very, very strong. What exactly are you doing here?
Right now, or?
No, in general, like when you're...
I'm just keeping it above your hips, right? So now you can't
I mean,
frame.
it feels like a bar. Like, I can't even move at all.
Because my shin is in front of your stomach, right? My shin and knee. So look what I can do with my shin and knee. Oh, let's show them what my back leg is doing. Let's change sides. Face it this way. So look what I'm doing with my back leg when I'm here. I have the wedge, right? I'm here, but look at this heel. I'm hammering the heel down. Here. You see, now try to move my leg. Try to peel my foot. See, now it's really strong.
It's crazy.
And now I can bring the pressure. But look, I grab the grip like this. This is just a different angle for them. I grab the grip, I pull. I use my forearm, I bring my head and elbow to me. I connect, I fall down, sorry. My elbow's here, my elbow's here, I connect. Now I have the pressure here. If I can, I can even hook my De La Riva here, so it makes it even harder for her to move. Okay? So I want you guys to work this now. Getting the Kimura grip and practicing those small concepts on the arm. Okay, let's work it. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you another option for attacking the arms. Always, whenever their hands are on the floor, like you just found out, we're always able to expose a submission. So here's another option you could possibly use when you're playing De La Riva. Okay, stand up please. So I'm going to be here in De La Riva, and she's going to push down this leg with her thumb. So weight is on her back leg, right? We know this. These are all the rules of De La Riva. So I'm going to move her to this way, and I'm going to start making her go here. But she's going to do what we said in the beginning is against the rules. Posting both hands on the floor. Why is it against the rules? Because you always have to be facing your opponent. So because she's not facing me, she's giving me the back right now, right? This hip is exposed. I can take the back like I showed you previously. But what am I going to do? I see this hand right here. This hand is on the mat. So I'm going to take advantage of it by doing this. I'm going to step my foot on her hip like so. I'm going to control the wrist like this. Now I'm going to go on my shoulder using this and stepping like this. Once I do this, I can put my head to the floor, controlling the arm. Now I can change sides and go here. Once I get here, I can bring my hips in and finish the arm bar. There's so many ways to finish, right? So again. So what's happening? We're just following the same rules that we learned previously, right? The weight goes to the back leg. I don't really have to explain this. We already explained so many times how we bring the person's weight to the other leg when the weight's on the back leg, right? We're not forcing it. She puts all the weight on that back leg. We're not going to push it to the front. We're just going to go with it. Weight's on the back leg. We bring it to the back leg. Her hand touches the mat. We're going to just go both hands on that hand. We're going to change sides, and we're going to attack that arm bar. So, we're here. De La Riva. She does this. She's taking out my leg. She's using her thumb now, right? If she's using her palm, I can do all this, clear. She's using the meat of her palm. I can step, here, clear. Now she uses her thumb. So now I can't do either or. I bring her here. She posts both hands. I see this arm is in the right next to me. So all I do is this. I use my shoulder. Here, I control the wrist. The back leg on her hip is what's going to help me step up. All my body I'm using to bring my body up here. So use my hand, my shoulder, everything to bring my hips up like this. Once I do this, I'm just going to bring my head to look toward her hand. Here. Once I look toward her hand, look what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go on my forehead like so. Once I go on that forehead, look how I have the armbar. And to finish the armbar here, I'm just putting pressure on my hip on her shoulder like so. Once I put pressure on my hip on her shoulder, look how strong it is, right? It immediately puts way more pressure on you, right?
Yeah.
If my leg is just up like this, it moves. But when I put pressure on my hip, on her shoulder, now look how much pressure I put on her.
That's crazy.
And look when I control the wrist, guys. I always have real isolation of the wrist because the more her wrist moves, the more her bicep could angle and the different angles she can make with her arm. But when we isolate her wrist, now try to make angles with your arm. So I put weight with my hip down on her shoulder. I'm using my butt and pressing it into her shoulder. This into her shoulder. Now when I do this, I just lift up the arm and then I go to the side. And now I have a really tight arm bar. It's more on the shoulder also. So again, set up these. Here. Same rules as before. She has the thumb in. I bring her this way. She's here. I make her go here. She posts her hand. I use my shoulder on the arm, like so. Once I lift this up, I step on her hip. I push her away to make her look more. I'm going to grab the wrist with my hand. Look what I grab. I grab this part of her wrist with my thumb, like this. Here. I bring my hips up. Once I bring my hips up, I'm going to look toward her wrist. I'm going to keep the collar. I'm going to switch sides to get to this spot here. I'm going to put weight on my butt on her arm like this. I'm going to put weight on her side. I'm going to pull to finish the submission. And try to roll here. It should feel kind of hard to roll, right? You see,
I literally have to do a headstand.
So go back. If I hook, it's hard because I'm hooking her head with my back hook here. So now when I'm here, I can even use my foot like this if I wanted to keep her from rolling. And look at the angle when she tries to roll. You see, I can catch my foot like this. Or, you see, it's very different. Even if you start rolling, now try to roll. The pressure on her arm, that if she rolls, it makes it 10 times worse. I can stop her, possibly, but if she completely rolls, it completely stretches her arm. So, I'm here. She takes out my hook. I go here and make her post. I bring her arm up. I go here. You look how I scoop with my shoulder, the arm up. I feel like that gives me a better angle to get to the wrist when I do this. So when I go here and her arm's here, I bring my shoulder like this. Now her arm is isolated. You see how I use my shoulder? Once I do this, you see my grip on her collar is like this, a U grip. Here, to raise it. Now I step and I can go. Once I connect, I roll. I get here, now I can hook her leg if I want to stop her from completely rolling. I don't mind the roll, but I'm just saying that if you really want to stop her from rolling, try to roll now. You see, it's very hard for her to roll if I catch her leg. You see. So, this is the option. So, one more time. The leg pushes down. I go here, make her post. Here. Again, other side. Here. Change sides. So guys, that's another option we could use for posting the arms. Let's work it.